And here's Johnny. Dun, 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 dun. Hey, Kimberly, my favorite subscriber in the house this evening. Hey, something stuck to my glasses. Looked up those lights. I see speckles everywhere. Hey, everybody. Svenborn, it's got to be getting late for you, my man. Hey, some glasses. There, maybe I can see. Alrighty. Well, we've got NVDA earnings coming up tomorrow. And then, are we ever going to get the data to resume from the BLS, all the CPI, the PPI, the retail sales, all the jobs reports? Are we ever going to get all that stuff? Ever? Saying maybe not for October, but maybe we'll release some of it. Maybe not the unemployment. Maybe. I don't know. I think we've got data supposed to come out tomorrow. That could lead to some chaos on top of NVIDIA. But I'll show you what I found. There was a giant call block purchased on NVIDIA. We'll look at that here in a minute. So all trading involves a substantial risk of loss. Past performance not necessarily indicative of future results. This presentation is intended to be informational, educational, fun, maybe entertaining. Not a recommendation to be buying or selling any financial instrument, including stocks, options, bonds, forex, futures, cryptos, treasuries. If you trade them, you might lose money. Be careful out there. Be careful out there. So, anyway, let's take a look at. I've got this scanner I built that finds a whole bunch of interesting things in the market. And pull this over. Maybe like, where does this come from? Well, I built the tool. So, rolling back up in here, come up to this morning. See NVIDIA, 170 strike, next Friday, $3.2 million. That was a big block. But then it happened again, $4 million. Same strike, same expiration. And then it happened again, another $3.5 million. Same strike, same expiration. So that's 3.2, 4, and 3.5. That's a bunch of millions of dollars. Right at $11 million. And then, yeah, that was it. Those 3 orders. 1 week out. 10 days, basically. 10 days. Lucky for you. Lucky for you. NVIDIA doesn't report earnings till after the close tomorrow, so you could still jump on this if you wanted to. But that got my attention a little bit there. 3.5, 4, and 3.2, all for next Friday. Now, they went at 170. 170 is in the money. 170 is in the money. So look at this right here. Look at what we got cooking. I went ahead and did a 190 to 100. Because if you look at this 170, they were paying like $15 for it. It's roughly $10 in the money. That means it's got to go up by 5 for them to be break even. They don't just want to break even. They want to make money, right? You don't put $11 million in here and not want to make money. So for that to double, they need not just 5, but another 15 on top of that. You know where that puts it? 200. And if they popped it even more for a triple, that'd be at 215. My little put spread, or my little call spread here, buy 1, sell 1, cost me a few bucks. almost 3, few, with the potential to be $10 if that goes fully in the money. So if this thing pops, that could be pretty good money. Maybe like 3x plus a change. Not a bad shake. If you believe this person that put $11 million, I mean, could be somebody gambling. Could be somebody, some degenerate with $11 million to blow. But why would you play 1 week out in the money? I don't know. Looks like it'd be worth it. I mean, it'd be a pretty dud if it just went up $5. They just made a scratch on that trade. So you let me know what you think. How do you know they were buys? Because I saw it come through on a few other places on X too, not just my scanner. You're not going to sell 170 calls. It's right there. It was today. Right there's the order. Came through in one big chunk. It was likely an opening trade of some sort because there weren't that many open interest. It way exceeded the open interest. Got to go back to the. See, we exceeded the open interest right there with the volume today. So that's where the open interest was that much, and we put that much volume. Yeah. So this got crazier as the day went on too. So pretty spicy. Pretty spicy. Oh, sorry, I was pointing at my trade. Yeah, the open interest was 1,000. Now 33,000 on the volume. Right there. So likely opening trades of some sort because there wasn't enough. It probably wasn't a sell trade. Probably wasn't a sell trade. Somebody likely spent $11 million buying those calls. Absolutely banana sandwich. So the expected move, this is where it gets extra interesting. The expected move by that expiration, 180. Come in here, sell that, sell that. Looking at a 1650 move in 10 days. 1650 up. Well, that puts it right up here. Is what's priced in. So 1650 down. Well, that sucked, but it'd be right down here. And his calls would go out for 0. You let me know what you think. Let's do a poll. Do you think this big player is going to be right and make money? Or do you think they're going to be wrong? See, likely you don't sell in the money calls. You just don't likely do that. Now, if it was way out of the money, probably like, it's a crapshoot whether it's a buy order or a sell order. But that deep in the money, likely that's a way that big players buy calls. Only really spent $5 a premium to buy that. Right there. So it's an interesting bit right there. Interesting bit, I think. So as far as NVIDIA chart goes, we'll look at that in here in a minute. Now, the data deluge, where is it? You got me. I think we have an approximate release time sometime tomorrow, maybe. And we do have the FOMC minutes tomorrow, maybe. Probably happen at 2 p.m. Not really going to be anything they say that they haven't already said. And they've reiterated 100 times. So here we go, Thursday. They've got it locked in here now, Thursday. We're going to get this block right here. We're going to get the unemployment rates, average hour earnings, non-farm employment. This was what usually hits the first Friday of the month. First Friday. But we're now getting it down here on the 20th. And they highly, Fed members have been out beating the drum that they expect this to come in light, and they expect inflation to still be high, and they expect that a rate cut in December will still be necessary, even though it's not a foregone conclusion, as Jerome Powell has said like 9,000 times. So, should be interesting. So that's coming out Thursday. So more chaos to the mix. Today was the last day to trade VIX for the month of November. Right there. Today was the last day. Tomorrow morning is when it expires. Even though we were elevated on VIX, I kind of expect a drop overnight into tomorrow and screw everybody that held their contracts open expecting to have profit. And then we have the last day to trade AM settled NDX, SPX, Russell, Dow Jones, all those index options. Last day to trade those is Thursday. And then they expire, the AM settlement, the normal monthlies expire at the open on the 21st. We get a big OPEX on the 21st, but it's not a quarterly, it's just a normal monthly. And then we start rolling into December. VIX will be playing out right there on the 16th. So any VIX play you want to make, you play the weeklies, but the normal monthlies are the ones that are most liquid. You want to play those if you're expecting any kind of more chaos moving forward. And this morning it's pretty bearish on the expectation of a Santa rally. And I apologize for my poor grammar this morning on the question. So let's see what anybody thinks on this. Do we get more chaos in the market causing VIX to spike into December? Do we get more VIX chaos? Let me know what you think. Looks like 72% think the big player is going to be right. 28% say no. That's what makes a market, baby. That's what makes a market. So looking at, oh man, NVIDIA. You know, it's hard to say. We could easily pop. We've been back testing this consolidation right here. That could be all we really need to do to pop that right there. 210. And holding in the VIX OPEX. Yeah, look at that. Anybody that was holding low, like, it would not surprise me to be down below 20 in the morning. It would not surprise me one bit. All these people thinking they made out, and then this drops and opens tomorrow below 20. And that locks in all those people losing their shirt. That would almost, like, that would just make too much sense on this stuff. See right here. Look at these. Look at these. These expired today. Like, look at those. 159,000 traded today right there. 159,000. Look at that. Big old hunks, big old chunks. 20,000 contracts. Wow. Me oh my apple pie. Look at that ramp into the close right there. 50 cents. Anybody that bought those right in the close, it's probably going to open down tomorrow. Rip everybody. And those, you know, you can be like, well, those were out of the money. Now, if we gap up tomorrow, any of those that were held open could get paid. Get cash settled is what these are. VX1 exclamation point. Right now, we're hanging at 21 on VX, which is the VIX futures. We see this pushing down overnight. You know, this closed for now. We'll reopen 45 minutes. And whatever it opens at tomorrow, like, it really wouldn't surprise me to be back down here below 20. Back down in here. A big spike 2 days, and then come back tomorrow morning. We're open here and screw everybody that was above 20 and kept their options open in expiration. And the open interest was insane on a bunch of these. See, look at that. Look at that. Somebody buying right there. I'm willing to bet. It could have been a sell, but 15,000 of those babies going out right there. 4 o'clock. Wouldn't that suck? You bought that and then come in tomorrow. It's zero. Somebody had to be selling that, right? Somebody had to be selling that. I would think. I would think that's a closing order. But it was climbing. I don't know. Shenanigans in the market. I don't usually go through all this on 30 minutes of awesome, but this is just too good, too juicy to pass up right here. So yeah, SVX1. Let's see what we got cooking here. Yeah, there's a big dip right there. So is it going to run back higher or continue down? It looks like higher lows. This thing still hasn't recovered from the chaos back here last summer. This thing got whacked on the chaos last summer. I think the fund got caught, and we still haven't been able to quite recover. Like, it should be up here, maybe dipping a little bit, but got whacked in here. And it's funny, it made a 3-wave retrace. So 1, 2, 3, right down to the perfect target. Move up. Might see something before we go higher. I don't know. We'll see. %9 pullback on SVXY. It's been kind of chaos. Like that October 10th drop kept pushing the SVXY down a little bit. And people are like, well, what about VXX? VXX not really responding, right? So VIX tends to be the best way to play VIX if you're going to play long VIX. This little spike is less than what we saw in October. And if we made the bottom today, probably plummet back down. And this event right here, not nearly the fear, even though it's ramped up the fear and greed index. Let's see, don't show my personal information, please. Yeah, thank you. And we're back into fear right here. This is just CNN's fear and greed index. We were running extreme fear. Now we're back. Oh, there it goes. There it goes. I thought we were still extreme fear. 5 o'clock. Yep. We haven't been down that far in a long time. So A week ago, we were running at fear. Now we're extreme fear. A month ago, fear. Yeah. Lots of fear in the market. Pulling back. So if you're feeling it right now, that's why. So, old pal Tesla holding up above the roadmap line. NVIDIA has that potential to drop down to the roadmap line. Here's kind of the move they priced in. By this Friday, that would be a 14.27 move by this Friday, 16.50 by next Friday, which is just a little bit bigger. Just a little bit bigger. And I got another piece of software that draws this pretty well. Let's see if I can load it up. Probably not going to run because the market's closed. I'll see if it'll do it. And maybe. Oh, it let me in. Here we go. So we've got this move priced in this Friday right there, up to there. Next Friday, there and there. So that's your zone for the next 2 weeks. Up here, down here. Anything outside of that, payday, basically. So I did the 190, 200. And if we actually exceed the top of the range, probably a big payday. I did it out next week with the big player. If you missed that at the headline at the start of the show, you can go rewind. So, alrighty. Into the poll. It's gonna show me the poll. No? Cool. Alrighty. Awesome. Let's see if we can find. I think the chat jammed up. Let me see. Load it on another tab here. There we go. So 76% expect VIX chaos. 24% don't. I don't know. I think we could kick off a Santa rally on it, quite honestly. It's looking like we might be done. Might be getting done. We might pull back more, but we might be getting done. We're kind of holding this. Holding. Didn't really poke through today. Held up pretty well. Shoot it up here by the end of the year. Like the climb schedule here. Put us right up in here. These run. That kind of run off of this low. I'd put us up in this target somewhere middle of February. Could just be back to the all-time high by January if we just do more of this stuff we've been doing. A bit of bumping and jumping around, grinding higher. Be interesting, right? So NQ right at the line. Right at the line. So if we hold a head and shoulders and that broke down, we'd probably get something bigger, deeper down here. But that'd probably put us well toward the end of the year before we broke down. Anyway, interesting, right? So we're going to do 30 minutes of awesome at least, 35, and then I'll switch to an Ask Me Anything on a private stream. So 1, 2, 3, go. The rules of the game, 1 request per person per request. And please let other people go several times before you go. If you're a channel member, take it easy. Wait for other channel members. If you're not a channel member, take it easy. Wait for non-channel members. Please use all caps in a ticker I can type in. Cryptos, reserve that for the Ask Me Anything. And The only thing I'm not going to answer basically is what should I do with XYZ? So stuff we cover in the morning, Mag 7s, I'm going to refer to the morning show. Nothing really changed from the morning show. So, all right. First one up I see UNH. I'll just kind of go in order as I see them, and channel members, you get priority after we switch over. So come hang out. You can ask me as many as you want, as often as you want, with no restrictions after we switch over. The benefits of being a channel member: if you want to be a channel member, click the button right under the thing right here. It says like join, or it's a $sign or whatever it is. Yeah, be a channel member. My family and I would appreciate it. So first move down, retrace. Second move down, put it down here. That's what I've been waiting for. Somewhere around 282 on UNH. MSTR, nothing's really changed. We're at the first support there, 198. If we keep on going, 157 and then 118 on down here. Nothing's changed there. So kind of been the way it is for MSTR. Yeah. A little bit different fib lines, but same kind of 182, possibly 147. And that corresponds with the 157, 147, and then bigger, deeper move right there. There you go. That's kind of the levels. We're already through that 216 level right there, so probably going deeper. This is how it works. First move down, retrace, next move down. That's the supports, and then on lower. All right. Oracle. Looking for the bounce. Probably off of the breakout. So this was the high. This was the low. We came up, moved through the 618. Got the extension. What an extension it was. And now we're coming back to retest the breakout. Pretty simple. Here's the high. Here's the low. Right up to the 200%. So basically the size of this correction, we did that right off of this. Like that, those two are the same size. Stopped right there and coming back to retest. If we don't hold that though, this can come all the way back down again. Yikes. That's Oracle for you. APG. Three-wave down. To a reversal spot. Fair. Potential breakout to 81.85. See what we got cooking. And not the... It's a fair retrace. It's not the best proportions. And we're in a danger zone. So if we stop here, we stop right there where we are, turn down. That was the trend. This is a three-wave correction. Trend continues. Lower low would be what I expect. So we need to push on through, basically. Got to get through 73. If we don't get through 73, this can go all the way back down below 26 or so. Maybe like, whoa, that's a big pullback. Yeah, that's a dangerous. Danger. So right now that has the proportions of an ABC. The most concerning part is this doesn't look anything like 5 up at all. It just like consolidate, pop, consolidate, pop. That's not price action. It's just not constructive price action at all. At all. Very careful. Rocket Lab. Back to the roadmap line. So can it hold or is it gonna fold? Been waiting for it to hit. I kind of been waiting for it to retest this breakout. I just don't think it's not going to do it. I think we're going to come back down, retest the breakout. Then if we can hold, bigger upside potential. But if we don't hold, bigger downside potential. That's really the tell. I'm not getting involved. I caught this piece over here. We did this pullback. I started getting involved in June. Right here. Selling puts. Got put on that dip right there. And then it ripped right up here. I got called out right there. Made a crap lot of money. And I haven't touched it again. And it hadn't really gone anywhere. It's actually below where I got called out. So, the good, the bad, the ugly. Got my piece and moved on, essentially. Got that piece out of all of this move. Missed all that. Missed all that. Missed all that. Missed all that. It's got this right up in there. And in case you're like, well, really? Check this out. Symbols. And Rocket Lab. $12,287. One of the best trades I did in this 50K challenge account. The most trades I've done on Nasdaq itself. Up about, well, as of the close today, that number will be closer to $2,000 today. This is posted public on KInfo. And back to the regular scheduled program. Nike. This has a beautiful pattern. Beautiful pattern. Come back to me. Here's the move up. Here's the retrace. Holding at a 618. This looks a lot like the potential for a 1-2 or an A, B. Now the big difference here will be what happens next. Here's the move up. Here's the retrace. And if we stop in this zone, that's where we have the C. If we stop in this zone, that's where we have the 3. So that is a C. That makes it a 3. And then we got a 4 and a 5. But if we turn down here, that means we're probably going lower low. So this is the cautionary point right there. If you catch it from here up to here, great. Be careful. If you catch the extra gravy, good job. Now, I say this because this one right here, I pointed out, it's probably an ABC. Like just the way this cooked into this. A, B, C, and I put the target right there, and we haven't been able to push on through. 3 needs it to get on up here. Hadn't been able to do that. This can still go lower low. So be careful. Trying to be long. ASML. It's still in a potentially corrective position. Now, if we get a pullback and we hold above that top of that A and start coming up again, maybe we're going to go on up. It's dangerous right now. Danger, danger, danger. Race. Kind of effed up its pattern a little bit. Probably going lower. Got the close below the uptrend of lows. That's an ABC. Potential to go lower low than that low right there. Hope you're not bullish. PLTR. Probably coming back to the roadmap line. Be careful here. Every time it's hit that roadmap line, though, in the last couple of years, which hadn't been a lot, we get this big upside reaction. Happened there. Happened there. Happened there. Need to hit it again so we can do it again. And CMG. Looking for this to hold this area right here and turn higher. And SWBI. Looking for this to hold the low. It was a nice move up, but it's down in the. It's down at the point where this is starting to be a sign we're going to see it down at 7. Right there. Down, turn positive, then right back in the slosh. And I just rolled the chat all the way to the bottom. MU is played out. Could it go higher? Sure. We're at the target. That went straight freaking exponential off that last bounce. Watch out for the retrace. Played out for me for now. That 200 was my target. I got off. I bought it in down here on the breakouts and closed it out here. That's how you get the piece right there. I played it with MUU. Bought in back here on the breakouts and closed it out at the 200 and haven't looked back. So watch out for the pullback. Does it have to happen? No. Is there a high probability other thing? Not really at this time. You can believe whoever you want to. Just be careful out there. Hims still haunting the bottom here. It's probably just getting sold with everything else that's getting sold premium wise. Has reasonable numbers here. The PE is a little crazy, but the price to sales is not. So they could use a little bit of earnings control here. They've got high costs because of the debt they took on earlier this year, eating up the free cash flow a little bit. So we'll see what happens there. I'd like to see that expand their sales a little bit more. It's looking like a 3-wave nearly complete or complete. That's kind of what we're getting into here. First move down, trace right in the zone to reverse here. And then that low, this high, right at a 618. We've got some confluence support, and that's where we've been hanging for a couple days. If this takes off, that sets it up for rapid appreciation potential. It's down to there. Resistance right here at the 618. And that move up. This retrace. This is where things get crazy. Just the bearish move. Just the ABC puts it up here. And usually we don't make higher highs on ABC moves. What the heck? What the heck even happened there? Oh, I was trying to measure that move. Measure that. Like, what was I trying to do? The move right there, roughly, gosh, 177%. HIMZ be up 300%. It's crazy town. So even if this is A, B, C. Now the potential here though is that it goes for a 3 and we go up to 200 or 190. That's where it gets really crazy. Be up here. And you might be like, nah, this little company can't do that. Their market cap is $8 billion right here at 30. They absolutely can 10x that. They could be an $82 billion company. Think about it. 8 billion times 10. It'd be 80 billion. It's not even a big company at that point. 80 billion. 10x the share price. That's 360. Maybe like, well, I don't think that's possible. That's cool. Just saying it is possible. It's much more possible this could 10x than NVIDIA. Because NVIDIA is a $4.5 trillion company. So for NVIDIA to 10x, it would have to be a $45 trillion company. That's never existed. A $5 trillion company has never existed. So it's got to do a lot of things that have never existed before. Even a double. We've never had a $9 trillion company before. Because we've never had a $5 trillion company. So you say the cheese stands alone, but be careful what cheese you're betting on there. Lulu Limon. Still looking for the low down here. Still hadn't touched my target. We got really freaking close. I expect it to dip on down to 150. And if it can't hold 150, could be down here at the 618 level, down at 120. That's kind of where I put the arrow, because that sets up a bigger potential rally. So patience. If you want to ride the dip, you can, but I'm going to wait for the dip to occur. ACVA. We talked about this last night. Potential for this to be done. It had a little bit lower it could go, depending on if you use the fib line or not. On the log mode. Usually they don't go negative, so this is the question here. Like that looks like an A, that looks like a B, that looks like a 1, 2. Are the proportions done? It hit the level that would be a 3 down. I would caution here. We could get a fifth wave down that touches that bigger ABC level down here before it finally gets done correcting. That's the potential I see. Now, it's possible that this was it. It's possible that was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's it. ABC done. We came up shy. And it's off to the races. Now, where's the projection? Until we get some sort of 5 up and a 3 down and gives me some sort of fib projection here, I don't know. Like it's just an EWAG at this point because this is the lowest low. Working off the lowest low. Nothing before the lowest low matters. So as far as projecting where we're going next. Does make it difficult. So I would watch out for a 382 resistance here. These are the levels to watch right here. We're already pushing through the 236. So it's possible we get that move off the 236. It's possible we get that move off the 382. If we start through that though, and we can overlap with that, yeah, this is your main level. We get above that, probably going on up. So Meta, looking for that to hold. Tag the 618 today. That's what I was looking for. Boom. I'd buy. I mean, if we can hold this here, turn it higher, this is going to be a long-term play here. Potential. Beautiful dreamer. Come back to me. Look at the potential here. This move up, this retrace. 1, 2, 3. If we pop this back up, could be looking at a bigger move right up in here. That's a move up, a 618 retrace. Next move up. Put it right up in here. And the climb schedule could be out here at 27 before we get up there. Very nice. Could it pull back again? You betcha. You could do, you know, you could do this all the way up through here. Push a little higher, retrace, push a little higher, retrace, push a little higher. Could be longer than 27. Could be 28, 29, 30. But right now, if we hold this and turn higher, that's the kind of nice upside we got cooking. Meta. I talked about that in the morning show. BBNX. There's not enough candles to really do much with. One little piece of roadmap line. We haven't hit it. Can't really tell you much. It is med specialties and biotech, med specialties, pharmaceuticals, biotech pharma. Be careful. That's got a button for that. Be careful. Parts. That maple bearer. So I talked a lot about this before. So the big thing here, that move up, that retrace, look where we stopped. Likely A, B, C. This was the IPO. We don't know what the chart looked like over here. Drama question mark funny. Don't know. Like, did it do this? And this was an ABC, and then this is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Are we continuing the downtrend, or was this a bottom? And it's so difficult. Now, the reason I say this is ABC is because this overlapped that right there, and that if this was going to be the 4 and this was going to be 5, this 4 shouldn't overlap wave 1. So yeah, if this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in a diagonal, and then this is going to come all the way back down here and then start the next move. So right now, that looks like 5 down. That's probably an A. Probably do a 3-wave up. Probably a B. And then we'll probably do something further down. Or that's a 1. That's a 2. We're going to get a 3, a 4, and a 5. And then potentially reverse. But probably eventually going to go lower low than this low back here. Is what the chart is saying with the price action that's happening here. This right here looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 down. So the resistance here is this 618 level. Right in there. That could be a, as I was saying, that could be a wave 1 down, wave 2 retrace, and then we get the 3. So next move down would be something like this. Down in here. Or maintain below the 1 and 5. Push down in this lower low. Right in there. That's what I would guess on cart. Sunhound. Hunting for this to hold. So there was potential for this to be a B wave, but we came all the way up here, so that kind of negated that being a B wave at this point. Pretty sure. This looks more bullish. Getting a nice deep retrace. Want to see it hold right here. That's the key, or this is the key right here. If we don't hold this right here, then it could be back to the A. This just was a really deep B. And then C is going to come lower low right here. Now I like this potential. Looks really good, but got to watch that level right there. Could be a while. Like if we come over here, then it just moves everything over. That's Soundhound, AVAV. Back to the roadmap line. Look for that to hold. Turn higher. Resistance at the 618. Oh, number would be, here's your high, potential low. Fix my fib lines. Starting to annoy me with the extra lines. At 618, 351 up there. That zone. If we can get through that, target. If we don't, watch out for the bigger drop. I like the proportions here. It got a little over its skis a little bit, but I do like the proportion here. Nice deep 618 retrace back to the roadmap line. They do that. They tend to outsize correct when they outsize move higher away from the roadmap line. CRM. And set this for 10 minutes. There we go. Reminder, channel member stream starting in 10 minutes. It's Ask Me Anything. You can ask me anything about cryptos or whatever except trades. So CRM still hunting the lows here. I'm probably going to retest this right here. Probably going lower low. Well, we already made a lower low there. Probably going lower low yet again. This doesn't look exactly like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This looks like 1, 2, the 3 wave up. Probably gonna get 3, 4, 5. Probably going lower. Ultimately on CRM. Been expecting it to come down here. That'd be a 618 retrace of this whole big move up from this low in 22 to this high right here in 24. 618 retrace would set that up for a bigger upside potential. Should be, oh, gotta move this over a little bit higher and right there. It moves up this potential up here if we can get down here. I've been watching this one for a while, waiting, watching, waiting, watching. I want to see it down at 190. If it does that, we have a potential 5 up, retrace, and potential to launch the frick off. That'd be, I mean, from 190 to 600, possibly talking 1100. That'd be pretty sweet. Pretty sweet right there. But you gotta wait for it. USAR. I don't like it. I don't like it one bit. It's probably coming back. Probably coming back down. Played out. APTV. Back to the roadmap line. So that move went way too high, and now we're paying for it. 3-wave retrace. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, we're probably going a little bit lower. This is probably going to find some support in here, bounce a little bit, and get a 5th wave move to a lower low. And then we can reverse this. It's possible we hold on to that, and that's it. But usually you don't get the 3rd move in a 3-wave. And that'd be it. It's just not typically the way this happens. Anything's possible, not typical. So probably see a little bit lower here. A little bit of bounce. Another flush down. Then we reverse. That high. This potential low. Somewhere down around 73. And see the other problem here. It didn't even make it up to the bearish level there. Not keen on that. It's not bullish price action right there off that low. If we can pop up here, you got to watch out for that 98 level. That can result in continuation lower. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, if this came up, stopped right there at that confluence around 100, that can still result in a lower low that goes lower than this back here. Downtrend, retrace, continuation. One, two, three, four, five. Yeah. Yikes. Yikes, yikes, yikes. Doesn't look like it's done yet. All right. I'm going to roll through, pick up the rest of the channel member or channel subscribers, and then we'll hit all the channel members. So I don't understand UVX versus VIX. UVXY is leveraged and not performing and set for a split. So damaged, not functioning. It hasn't responded. So GoX looks like we're first move down, retrace. Next move down will be right there. And GVA at the roadmap line, look for the bounce. Here's the high, here's the low. And resistance at 105. Looking for 114 on the expansion there. And BBI. Big bear. Big picture. That was move up. Retrace. Move up. Retrace. So the only way this can be bullish is if it's nested. Like 1, 2. 1, 2. And then we have a big upside potential here. Otherwise, that could be 3 waves with a weak third wave and go lower. Which way it is, I don't know. The downside potential down to 2, and the upside potential, immediate upside potential, we're looking at 15, which matches up here. So 15 versus 2. Flip a coin. All right. CRCO. Coming back to the lows. I discussed that on, pretty sure I discussed all of that on the Crypto Power Plays update that you have access to. MET. And nothing. Big fat bunch of nothing. Big bunch of nothing. So that looks like first move down, 3-wave retrace, and potential to come back down again. Watch for this to hold the uptrend, and we're pushing it. That got deep. Still opens the door to 61 down here. If this doesn't save it right here, probably going to work its way down here. So this is the resistance. If we get above here, get above that high, we can go on higher up in this area. If we don't, probably coming down here. So, yikes. NVIS. And looking for the roadmap line hit. That stopped in a zone of ambiguity there. 1, 2, 3 up. I'm not sure. Is that going to be 4, 5, or is it going to be... This correction doesn't match this, like, it's not like twice as long. It's kind of faster, but it's not bigger. Causing a question for me, like, do these two match, or is this, and there's not like another pullback in here. So is this like the 1, 2 inside the 1, 2, or is this the A, B, C, and we're like the first kind of potential down? I don't know. Like, big question mark. Unclear at this point. Unclear. I'd be very cautious. It didn't hit any. It didn't confirm it's probably going to be bullish, and it stopped in a zone that it's not clearly bearish, but it's a big question mark. So I want to see this hold the roadmap line, break through at 618, get on up into that 163, possibly higher, do another retrace, bigger, longer, to kind of match this one, and then go higher again if I was looking at that one. All right. got called out on TSLA. I'll read that in a second. And looks like I got down to the bottom there. All right. And circle back where I was. Before I threw up the USAR, I think was the one. Yeah, USAR did that one. APTV did that one. 5VN. No bottom in store. Like, that's big picture. All right. Here's the lowest low. There's the move up. We're at the 618. If we can hold on to it, turn higher, that's good. If we don't, here's the next fib level down. And that brings us back to the IPO price. And if we don't hold that, we're probably going lower low. Somewhere down around 2. It's F5.